future hi-fi here, although this will be in the past by the time you see it. I forgot to record an intro for this video, so here's my low-effort intro. When I got this, 8-track player didn't work, and in the next scene you'll see me taking it apart and diagnosing. So belts can need to be replaced on this. See, it's just deteriorated and gooey, so definitely going to want some alcohol. Okay, so I've got the 8-track player working. Was pretty simple, just needing a new belt. Still trying to figure out why this side is so quiet. There's a very small amount of music coming out of there, so I'm guessing the speaker's good. I'll do a little more testing here in a minute, but I'm either thinking, I'm thinking that it's probably some bad capacitors. This has the oh so lovely purple Mashusta caps in it, and honestly, there's a small enough amount in here, I might just go ahead and replace them all. Okay, so I swapped the positive lead from this side to that side, and this speaker sounds like it's working just fine, so I'm guessing it's caps. Well, I thought I'd do something simple first, like use some electronic cleaner, and this has brought back the left channel. It kind of goes in and out, so I'm wondering if there's a bad solder joint on this switch, maybe, because I flicked it a lot. So I'm gonna still take this board out and check. You know, if it works, it works. I don't think I'm gonna worry too much about changing the caps in this. They don't look terrible. I might test this one in the power supply because, you know, we don't want it shoving any voltage through this thing that it's not supposed to be handling, but we'll see. Alright, so here's the board flipped over. I can see there is a broken solder trace here. I don't know if this is disconnected. I'm looking and I'm seeing a couple little cracks here and there. I think I might be able to get away with reflowing some of this solder. This may be our culprit right here. Oh, let me move the camera there. That may be our culprit right there. I don't know if it's going to zoom in well enough. There we go. So I will reflow that solder and then see where we end up. This is my fix for that lifted solder pad there. That kind of seems like it fixed the problem. I feel like it stopped working again in the left channel, but then I tapped the board and I tapped the transistor, and it's not going off again. This may be an intermittent problem that I'm gonna have to like look really closely and look at every single solder joint on this thing. But when it's working, it sounds actually pretty decent. Like I said, I'm gonna at least test this power supply cap here. If it sounds okay and it's working, then I think I'll leave it alone in terms of the other capacitors. It looks like someone's been in here before. Maybe they were dealing with the same issue, because these are a couple transistors here, and that does not look like original solder to me. Neither does this right here. I don't know if the camera's gonna focus. There we go. So I don't know. I'll put it back together and tap on it a few more times. If it's not acting up, then we'll put it back together and clean it up, although I've already started cleaning up. I cleaned up around the buttons up here because those will be really difficult to get to when it's together, but other than that, I think I'll throw some plastic polish on this. Well, it appears I just blew out my tester. I guess there was a little bit of charge in that capacitor. Kind of surprised there's not some sort of auto discharge in this, but yeah, I plugged it in, hadn't even pressed the start button, the screen blinked, and now it's just dead. So let me just drop it. Not exactly sure what to do now, I guess. I mean, clearly the capacitor's holding a charge. Okay, I've got it back together. Now I'm going to clean up the battery terminals a little bit. They're not terribly dirty. I think someone's cleaned them before me, but I'm also going to test to make sure that the battery's actually working this thing. Of course, as I'm putting stuff back together, I'm noticing problems that I didn't notice before. Both these screws were actually on this side. I just noticed that as I was putting it back together, so I'm going to find some. Those should be relatively easy. But also, this side of the handle is quite loose compared to this side, so I'm going to open it up again and see if I can tighten that. I don't think it's really a big deal, but it'd be nice if it was the same on either side. I was able to find some screws to replace the missing ones there. As for this side being loose, I'm not exactly sure what is causing that. It may just be manufacturing tolerances being a little bit different. Now that this has actually got 2 screws in it, it's pretty tight. You can see there's a little more wobble on this side than this side, but I don't think I'm ever going to notice that. So I've scraped off all the old foam material, and I think I'm going to use this felt pad here on the battery cover. It's about the same size. The 8-track player was having a little bit of trouble playing cartridges. I mean, I could move them and it would play fine, but if they were too far like this, it would just kind of sit there and slur and not get any grip. So I went ahead and polished the sensor. I used this bit of sandpaper here, and then I used some Brasso, and then I used some alcohol to clean off any residue. I also cleaned the head really well. I'm not sure if I need to do anything to cap sand. I did already clean it, but I'm going to put it back together and see if it's having the same issue. I also greased this mechanism, that piece there, and maybe that will help. And actually, it seems like this wheel needs a little bit of lubricant, so I'll do that as well. I've made somewhat of an interesting discovery. It appears that this guide here is part of the problem. So I know some plastics shrink, and it appears this may have happened with this because it'll be difficult to show the camera, but the tape, you can actually see it grabs the tape a little bit because of how tight it is. I wonder if I sand the top and bottom just a little bit, if it will get it back to the correct tolerances. Alright, after some cutting with a razor blade and then sanding, it appears that it's not, well, at least it's not grabbing quite as hard now. It's not pulling the tape out of the cartridge anymore. So I'll put it back in and see if this has fixed the problem. So this is really interesting. I've added another spring to this roller here that goes into the indent, if you will, on the cartridge. This has greatly improved the playing capabilities of this device. So I'm wondering if the metal they used in this spring has lost tension over time, or maybe this is just a problem this unit's always had. Not sure. So I'm not sure if I'm going to edit this spring, or more likely what may be a better idea is just to kind of do a temporary fix right now until I can find a replacement spring at a hardware store, because this thing really isn't too hard to get into. Alright, so it's back together again. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like BG's wants to play very nicely with this player. I'm not exactly sure why that is. I've actually replaced the spring. I cut one of these lamp springs that I scrapped, and it's working now. Well, more reliably, that is. This cartridge seems to be pretty happy in there, and most of the other ones, I don't know why this is having trouble. Maybe there's something going on with that cartridge, but I'll give you a little listen here. And the tuner is pretty good in this. It's actually picking up FM stereo without the antenna even being extended. I still think it's very interesting how the numbers on the dial wrap around like that. So you can be on top of it and still see what channel you're on. Here's AM. Looking at the date code on the motor, it appears that this is from 1976. Although that's the date code on the motor, so this could be a 77. I'll turn on the cartridge now. Pretty much everything that can be lubricated on the player has been lubricated. And this is not a very big unit. Here's a mono radio for size. I mean, this is pretty small. I was expecting this to be a lot bigger, though. I guess it's nice that it's compact. Here's my hand for comparison. But yeah, everything polished up pretty nice. So I'm happy with it. It's working now. Well, mostly, like I said, one cartridge doesn't want to work, but oh well. Alrighty, that is all for now. Thank you for watching.